Welcome to round one. It's Monday night, or I'm sorry, it's Wednesday night. What day is it? My name's Taylor Gunn. You're here on Top Deck Productions. You're watching Standard Magic, The Gathering, being played in paper. Dustin Lewis on Blue-Red Drakes. Luke Browning on Blue-Black Surveil. And I am now joined by the handsome Pro Tour competitor, John R. Douglas.
I'm here. I'm not comfortable with my middle initial being out there in public.
That's not a public knowledge.
No.
All right, well.
Everybody forget that you heard that.
Don't, we're going to have the jury strike that from the record. That wasn't said in open court.
Everybody forget it. Just forget it.
You know what I'm not going to forget? This
Opt.
Dustin giving it a good think.
So we've got a scribe. We're going to leave it there. It looks like it's a Teferi just going to hand.
So how's your week been, John?
It's been a wonderful week. Looks like a thought erasure, which is what I wish I could cast on everybody in the chat so they would just forget about my middle initial.
About your middle initial?
Yeah.
I could be lying. It could stand for something else.
It's out there.
It's out there now. Now we're out there.
No point in playing the long con there.
So how do you feel about this opt instead of the lava runner?
It depends on what was in his hand. Like, if he had a second opt, I like the opt. But I would have rather played the turn one lava runner here.
Yeah, I think the lava runner, and then you get to protect it a little bit. You only have an essence scatter, but at least it's going to go unblocked for a couple turns.
I don't know why we're playing lava runner and blue-red drakes anyway.
Yeah, not the best.
So this Surveil deck doesn't use the bug in the wall. It uses Dream Eater.
Am I unheard?
Yes.
Oh.
Good.
Your volume is just low.
Oh, my volume is low.
Well, hopefully most people just couldn't even hear you when you gave away that pertinent information.
Valuable. There I am.
You
There.
hear it now?
Yeah. What was that?
It's so short in the cable.
Oh, no.
Oh no! New cables for all. There we go. All right. As long as we don't bump that too much, we should be in good shape.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Only a little bit. Now I can't hear myself.
Now I can't hear me or you.
Yeah, usually it's just like a little.
Well, we'll
here.
here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna keep talking as if I can be heard, and we're working on the sound, and it will come in and out. Sorry about that.
We're touching some chords.
And so our volumes are gonna change. There's my volume going up.
Oh,
there we
geez.
go.
Yeah, I can hear clearly now. Both of us. That's great.
All right. We're locked in now.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you.
All right. Thanks for sticking through it there, guys. What are your thoughts on mono blue tempo, mono white aggro? So the mono blue tempo deck didn't really have a good showing.
Oh, it had a great showing.
At the Pro Tour?
At the Pro Tour.
All right, we'll discuss that. That's an observation I didn't
Well, now you know.
know that, I guess. The mono white aggro.
There were very few copies of mono blue tempo, but they did well.
All right. Yeah, so low volume, high conversion.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I would much rather be in that than the high volume, low conversion.
I don't think we had any of those this Pro Tour.
Yeah, like green-black was the boogeyman. Everybody knew there was some green-black deck out there that was very good.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people addressed it in their deck building. They knew it was coming.
Oh, they did.
And so it was able to be fought over, and we wound up with this top 8 that was full of mono white. Well, not
Lots
mono
of-
white. White splash red, and then like a more even, Boros, true Boros builds.
It was very much a sausage party in the top 8. Would Mono Blue Tempo be good for a new player with a limited collection? So, Mono Blue Tempo is very cheap to build. It's very difficult to play effectively.
So it depends on your patience. So like obviously, it's good because you can build it for. I mean, I think you can build it for like $125.
Probably less. I can't think of a single card in there that's over 5. Like, the most expensive card in that deck might be Siren Storm Tamer.
So yeah, that's good. But then like how patient are you going to be in learning? I know that I want something that's got a little bit of a higher power level when I'm learning a deck, and that way I can feel good about some wins, and then those wins start to expand as I learn more. But I need that feedback in my life.
Yeah. I think
It helps with my low self-esteem.
your best bet if you're new and you have a limited collection, the only card that's really valuable in the white deck is the History Benalia.
Yeah, something like LSV's mono white deck from the Pro Tour.
I think all the mono white decks are pretty standard.
Pretty close to each other. I wish I could find. There we go. Perfect. All right, so I found the our friends at MTG Goldfish. I don't know if they know that they're our friends, but I consider them friends.
They're the enemy.
They're the enemy.
This Doom Whisperer is the enemy for Dustin. Yeah, he needs an answer for that real quick, and he's going to have to fight through some of Luke's permission to get it.
Our friends at MTG Goldfish do a great job at cataloging and all the decks from the Pro Tour. They go very deep. And
How deep do they go?
I don't know. So, like, they went all the way down to decks that had... So you get all the decks that had at least 6 wins in the standard portion.
So 18 points.
Right. So the 10 and 4, there would be... There's 10 rounds, so they went 6 and 4. So any deck that was better than 500 at the Pro Tour.
Nice.
Right?
Sure.
That's how... I've not played on a Pro Tour. You have. Is that how Pro Tours work? They play 10 rounds of constructed and 6 rounds of limited?
That's correct.
Okay. So yeah, all the decks that had 6 wins in their constructed portion.
They also have the top cards listed on here. Number 1 most played card, Adanto Vanguard.
This is a card that I haven't seen it a ton here at GameSwap Mason. Luke's gonna take this one down after
Very
controlling those
Doom
first couple
Whisperer
turns.
came down and just kind of took everything over.
I think this Drake's deck is a very real thing. Yu Yu Watanabe top 8'd with it.
It is, and I think it's probably the best position deck coming out of the Pro Tour.
Yeah.
The issue here is that Dustin's playing a pretty suboptimal build, it looks like, which is fine, but your deck typically doesn't want very many creatures, and when you don't have a lot of creatures, that Lava Runner is not very impactful at all.
I see.
I think the sweet spot for Drakes is like 12 dudes.
Yeah.
So you get your 4 Arclight Phoenixes.
Let's see what...
You get some Cacklers. You get some Electromancers.
So Yu Yu was on 15 creatures. We'll drop this link in the chat so you guys can see what we're talking about here.
Yu Yu is very high on the creature count.
Yeah, so he's playing Electromancers, Enigma Drake, Arclight Phoenix, and only 3 Crackling Drake. Which is a card I really like. I think that card's super good. It's a big haymaker.
Super good.
I would play it over Enigma Drake.
Well, Enigma Drake costs 1 less. So this is kind of the same situation that you run into with the Mono Blue Tempo deck. Is that just sticking a threat and letting it sit out there isn't doing you any good. So you want to stick a direct or a threat and then protect it.
Sure.
And getting to 5 mana, playing an Enigma Drake and keeping up in a gate is a big deal.
All right, so there's the plan.
Or even 4, and then you can maximize velocity, you can dive down, you can dispel.
Sure.
A lot of the same ideas. That said, I think I like Crackling Drake more than Enigma Drake as well, but that's the theory behind it.
Yeah, but the whole point is there's no, he kept his creature count low, and he was very pointed. Like, he obviously could have played an additional Crackling Drake and, like, cut down on one of these radical ideas or a Discovery Dispersal.
Mm-hmm.
But he, chose to cut the one, play a few more spells, because you have to have that threshold number of spells to make all these other cards worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. Tempest Djinn is definitely a key card in Mono Blue Tempo.
Absolutely, yeah. So I would say Tempest Djinn is... I think you do the whole... Put a guy down and protect it. I think you want to be able to do that twice in the Mono Blue Tempo deck.
Right.
You want to do it on turn 1 and then, be able to have it protected on turn 2. And then once they handle that threat, you come in with the Tempest Djinn as the second thing. And hopefully it's too big.
Mm-hmm.
Too big, too fast.
Sideboard is 100% necessary. When you build a deck, you're building a 75-card deck. It's definitely something to keep in mind. But if you're trying to come in under a budget, I would probably... draft to start out and try and build a collection up. It really depends. Like, if you just want to play, then, that's fine. You can build whatever you want. But if you're trying to play and be competitive, like, if your expectation is to win and you're just not going to have a good time unless you're winning or improving, then having, like, a very tuned deck is a big part of that these days.
Yeah, I would say this is that, like, you have to think about it this way. We can either build a deck that isn't tuned and, go in expecting to not prize every tournament,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're just wasting the money on the tournament entry, or you could spend a little bit more money, tune the deck, and maybe, if you prize every other tournament,
Mm-hmm.
you're actually saving yourself money in the long run by not having to pay for every tournament entry.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, that's what I was doing at the beginning, is that, like, if I I had a budget to draft once a week, and if I got to win that first draft, it means I got to draft again. And so then I got 2 drafts that week. And so I got to build up a collection that way. That trading was a different beast back then, though.
Yeah, kind of a lost art these days.
Although I would say...
Tell me what you would say.
So there's definitely these guys, the old binder grinders, as they say, and every store has them. If you find one that is actually, like, a good human being, like, I'm not saying they're all good human beings, but we have 1 or 2 here that are, like, reasonable people.
Sure.
And if you draft and you get a bunch of, like, bulk whatever, and you're trying to get into a deck, a lot of these guys will take on, yeah, give me 10 50-cent rares and I can get you this Tempest Djinn. You know what I mean? Stuff that you're never going to play anyway.
Sure.
And they're completely fair with you about it. So that's something to consider as well. Hates it when I have something in my hand.
Did you make noises with it?
That was barely a noise.
That was a noise, and it was very distracting.
All right.
We will flag this channel as ASMR one time and let you play with your notepads and decks and things like that. But I won't be here for it.
Man, maybe I should start that stream.
You do it.
Arena ASMR, just me playing Arena, not talking, and making very nice.
That noise was not nice.
The soft little paper flick?
Not nice. This search for Azcanta is doing work here. Digging for a land, I'm assuming. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got to have a land.
He kept I think it was a thought erasure on top instead of binning it. Can't tell what card it was. It was one of the blue-black cards last turn. To dig a little bit deeper for a land. Might have been this thief. But that's got to be a mistake. You have to dig. You need your lands every turn. All the way up to 6.
Yeah, those of you that are surveilling your way through Standard right now, if you need land, just put that card in the graveyard. Because it's either going to rot in your hand or be in the graveyard so you can potentially draw land.
Right.
Alright, so we're going to maximize velocity, our lava runner, it looks like.
No, maximize velocity, the other guy.
The urchin.
Yeah. Keeping 2 blue mana, but doesn't look like he's got any action here.
Put it in the bin.
Is it a land?
Put it, if it's not a land, put it in the bin.
Oh, you put it in the hand.
He might still get it here because we've seen this thought Thief of Sanity do some serious work.
Yeah. So the Thief of Sanity definitely does some work. I'm not saying that he's losing this game, because I think his deck is just a much better deck.
Yeah, it's got a little bit. It's more of a honed blade.
But it doesn't mean that not digging for the land is the right call. I don't even know what he kept. Can't even tell what card that is. It's one of the promos.
So the only mono blue promo I would imagine is in this deck is the Sinister Sabotage.
I think it's one of like the Jace's Spellbook promos.
Oh, that one.
So it might
Opt?
be like an opt or something like that, but I can't really tell what it is. Hey, it's a land.
It's Orlando. Here's an attack. So the
Yikes.
3/1 gets blocked.
Not a fan of that block. Like the 3 damage, it doesn't really mean a whole lot to you. Obviously, you can't really deal with this Thief of Sanity, so. Or taking the...
Niv Mizzet, we'll never be able to cast.
Wonderful.
Alright, here's a 3/3 flying hexproof guy.
Fella.
He's real good.
He's a real fella.
Not shocked to see that play. That thief was really doing a lot of work.
You got it.
I did it there.
Night Veil Predator.
Night
Here he is.
Veil
Flying Death Touch,
Predator.
3/3 Hexproof Draft All-Star. I think my microphone went out, so I'm a little bit low on the volume. You might be picking me up through Taylor's.
Yeah.
But I'll try to project a little bit. Get out of my face.
Do you want me to sit closer so you can...
Get out of my face.
Some nights I know John's having a good time, and some nights I feel like I'm really annoying him. Guess which one tonight is.
Go ahead and guess.
So let's see if Luke can ride this Predator to victory.
Yeah, he only needs a couple of attacks with it. He's way ahead
So we're
on hand and on board state.
3 damage to put Dustin to 9. What do you spend 2 mana on?
Just YOLOing. Just, here's 2 mana. Deal with it.
There's a land in the bin.
I think he surveilled.
Surveilled the land to the bin? I'd want all those lands so I could cast this Niv Mizzet.
He doesn't even need the Niv Mizzet.
I know he doesn't need the Niv Mizzet. Well, here's a way to get a land.
Flippin' as Kanta.
Flipping as Kansas. You're no longer searching for it. You found it.
Oh, and there's the land anyway.
And here's the 6. Now he can cast Niv Mizzet.
I don't even know if he needs to.
Willy-nilly.
Attack for 3.
Attacks for 3. And that's going to put him... Whoop, whoop, whoop.
I'm just making noises to see if I can hear myself. Cannot.
Hear myself think.
Nope, nope, nope. Nope, 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 nope.
Testing, testing. 1, 2.
Cannot hear me.
Once again, the sound is...
Sound is great for you. I can hear you just fine. I feel like I'm... Oh. That's me. In the spotlight.
Yes, there you go. Now I can hear
me.
you loud and clear.
There we go.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
It's probably just gonna be like up now.
Yeah.
It's been laying down too much.
Deal. All right. So we've got my sound back on.
Yes, so the important person is back in. You guys no longer have to listen to my shenanigans.
Unfortunately, I do. So Niv Mizzet has come down, and looks like he's going to take over this game.
Yep. I would
Here's your Niv Mizzet back.
definitely scoop
Flip
my Do you get unnerved by the whole like my opponent's touching my cards thing?
No, I don't care.
Are we smoking? What? You
No.
don't care? 'Cause I try not to care, but I'm such an emotional guy. It unnerves me.
So, like, if they play with your cards?
No, okay, so
What's happening here tonight? We're playing Standard is what's happening here tonight.
you're here on Top Deck Productions. We stream live Magic the Gathering. I think we're one of the few streams to do weekly live Magic the Gathering tournaments.
Yeah, we're talking about how hot Luke's deck came out of the gate. It was really smoking. Smoking hot.
Smoking hot. How'd you do in the Pro Tour?
Not great.
Is this guy... Do we know this guy?
Medieval? Yeah, we were the one we were talking about Standard. Not great, but had a lot of fun. And you know what? That's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
That's not all that matters.
No, winning is... Winning... Would you rather have a miserable winning Pro Tour? Like a winning record, but just miserable, like...
No. So, I kind of hit the point somewhere in the last 2 years where how I do doesn't affect like how I feel afterwards anymore. At least not as much. I mean, obviously, if I do poorly and I think I should do well, I'm going to have a worse time.
Frustration, yeah.
But like some of my favorite GPs and tournaments that we've gone to, it's just been a good time outside of the GP, and it's just been like whatever.
Absolutely. Like the first GP Richmond that we went to, we both did horribly.
No,
like,
so
I think it was round 5, and we were both like, "Yep, this deck is."
No. I was done round. I guess it was round 4, or round 3, because I had 2 buys, built my deck. I'm like, this deck cannot win a game of Magic. Played 1 round, dropped.
Yeah, and mine was
went and got a sandwich.
Mine was very close, and so by 1 o'clock that on Saturday we were done.
Yes,
and,
we were absolutely done.
We ate sandwiches.
Yep.
Went back to the site, went back out, ate ramen.
That's all true.
And then went to a concert, and it was one of the better trips I've ever been on.
Yeah, it really was. We saw Amon Amarth.
And a band called, a little band you might have heard of called Goat Whore.
Little band called Goat Whore. We're looking for a second match. That one was over real quick.
But yeah, I mean, listen, they say all you need is a brain, a deck, and a friend. All I think you need is a friend. You can actually be brainless and deckless.
That's
and
true.
if you show up at a Magic tournament with a friend, you're going to have a good time.
Listen, I have shown up to many Magic tournaments with just friends and just ran drafts or 2v2s and had a blast.
The best. Back when people would do pickup drafts was really the heyday.
Yeah, more than the lack of trading nowadays, the lack of just pickup drafts and 2v2s are really what kind of throws me off about the new Magic world that we live in.
Absolutely. If you're ever at an event and you see us hanging out and you want to challenge us to a 2v2,
I will 100% accept your challenge.
And you're at an advantage because he has to have me on his team. So I've played in 0 Pro Tours. I have, like, no Magic accomplishments to my name.
You have Magic accomplishments to your name?
I day 2'd a Grand Prix one time.
Look at that. Multiple regional Pro Tour qualifier competitor.
I do compete in regional Pro Tour qualifiers. I've day 2'd 1 constructed and 1 limited Grand Prix, so
Oh, there you go.
covered my bases there.
All your bases.
But yeah, in February we've got this Cleveland event, which is the first Pro Tour, a Grand Prix,
a Magic Fest.
It's going to be a festival.
It's going to be a real fest.
Real Magic Fest. There's also, I mean, I hope they have it at the convention center there. Mm-hmm. There's that great breakfast place. Did you eat breakfast with us last time I was in Cleveland?
No.
We went to. It was like the only breakfast place open on Sunday morning.
So I very rarely eat breakfast, period.
Oh, love breakfast food.
I believe you.
Anyway,
if it's not an egg circle from a hotel bar,
you're not eating it.
I'm not eating it.
Okay.
That's not true. But oftentimes that's what I'll settle for.
Well, if it's biscuits and gravy, you're eating it.
You're absolutely right.
So yeah, that'll be fun. The new set will be out.
Uh-oh.
Oh, see, this is a match that I almost led with this match.
Yeah. We got a mull to 6 for Adam Sorosi on Jeskai.
Game 2. Sorosi's got. I mean, if we can get him to give us this
double mull to
list,
6 maybe.
If we can get him to give us this list, you guys are in for a treat. I'll work on it in between rounds.
One treat, please.
One treat, please. So it's got 4 Deafening Clarions in the main. And what blue creature do you think he's playing that couples well with Deafening Clarion? Go deep.
Go deep.
Yeah.
Warkite Marauder?
No, well, see, that would die to a Deafening Clarion. This one does not.
Well, it also kills stuff that Deafening Clarion wouldn't kill.
Right.
You got it. You got me. What is it?
The 1/4 that makes a treasure when it comes in, Merchant of
Secrets?
Secrets.
No, that's not the right one. It's not Merchant Secrets. Merchant Secrets is just draws a card when it comes in.
What card am I thinking of then? What's it called?
I don't know. It was in Ixalan.
Yeah, it's in Ixalan. So
I drafted like 4 of them pretty much every draft.
Yeah, he's main decking this bad boy.
Yikes. Sailor of Means. There you go. The old Sailor of Means deck.
The old Sailor of Means.
That's an interesting choice. Not sure how I feel about it. So
here's the Spyglass.
the obvious.
Oh man. So what's he gonna take here? He's gonna name Vivian Reed?
Yeah, there's no other activated abilities, so Vivian Reed it is. So the obvious reason for the Sailor of Means is to kind of curb the weenie deck.
Assault?
Yeah, and I don't think that that's the best way to do it.
Well, it also has the advantage of this Jeskai deck of solving his mana issues.
Sure.
His mana is super greedy.
Yeah.
In this particular deck. I mean, he was playing the gain 3 life draw card, White Spell, and I'm just like, what is this card doing?
Well, not much.
Right?
I would wager.
So he's going to trade 1 for 1 here with the Deafening Clarion, it looks like.
That is not where you want to be.
Concur. No, he considered binning it. I think he would obviously love to get this
I would have definitely binned it.
Crackling Drake down.
Yeah, you definitely want a Drake on board. You really want the Teferi on board with a flipped-ass Kanta. And that's where he's going to try to be. 2 mana. Nope. What's Jake got? What you got, Jake? Over Wild Growth? Oh, no, we're Branch Walking.
Yep. So Sorosi has some life total to mess with. Why would he do that? See, why would you counter that spell?
Well, he knows what's in his hand.
But why not leave it, let it go, and get some value out of this Deafening Clarion?
Because he don't want to cast the Deafening Clarion this turn. He wants to cast this Teferi.
Sure. I still think he wants to wait, but you do you, son.
So bury that. So we're going to get to untap with the Teferi. I think he only has 2 cards in the bin, so the search isn't going to flip anytime soon. And really, it's the combination of those two that causes these games to end. Fine Broker is going to get back the Branch Walker. That's not what Jake wanted. He wanted to draw a land to play his Carnage Tyrant.
Yeah,
not in the cards.
Carnage Tyrant would do a lot of work against this Teferi.
Yeah, Carnage Tyrant's just going to come down and blow up everything anyway. So it's fine.
Alright, here comes the Drake. That should be one bigger.
At least one. Oh, he's got the bounce spell in hand. It looks like in the blink of an eye. Yes, no, maybe so. I don't know. We'll find out here. He's gonna. I don't know if he's gonna kick it on a Fine Broker. That's probably not the best, but
You don't love it. I guess he could kick it on his own Teferi if it became the target of something.
kick it. Yeah, he could. It's not exactly where you want to be because you don't want to recast it, but that's definite possibility. Jake's got a decision to make here. Oh, he just passes. So he drew the Vraska's Contempt. I think he's trying to get it on the Teferi end of turn to hopefully resolve something next turn. Teferi's going all the way up, though. You definitely want to stop this Teferi before the search flips, because that's bad. That's bad news.
Yep. You're going to get Teferi buried if you don't do that.
Ha! Alright, so he needs Adam to cast something.
Well, I don't think Adam's going to cast anything. He's where he wants to be. Okay, Adam's gonna attack here, and what that's gonna do is gonna lead him to cast something. Because now, if he doesn't cast anything, Teferi's just naked.
Yeah, naked as the day he was born.
All right,
Cast nothing. So now this Vraska's Contempt is going to have to earn a counter spell.
Yeah, this is where Jake can get ahead. Is casting Vraska's Contempt here, and then he'll have an opening to cast the Chupacabra.
He doesn't even need to. He can attack with a Fine Broker and see what kind of business. Okay, so we've got a Syncopate here.
Exiling it. Untaps. Yeah, so attack with the Fine Broker, see what's up, and then you can cast the Chupacabra.
There it is. So now I got Chupacabra, can take down a Drake. Still leaves the problem of this Teferi.
That's okay.
Jake really needs a 6 land for this Carnage Tyrant.
Yeah, I'm wondering if the right play was to... I don't know what's in Jake's hand because he flicks it so much.
So Vivian Reed, Fine Broker, Carnage Tyrant.
I know there's the Merfolk Branch Walker.
Yeah, Merfolk Branch Walker's still there.
But I'm wondering if he resolved Branch Walker and something else, or Branch Walker to like try and get the land, and then you get the...
Yeah, he could have gotten both the Branch Walker and the...
And the Chupacabra.
No, he's got a...
Well, if he hits a land on the Branch Walker, he gets
whatever
the
the
Chupacabra.
3/2 is, the 3-drop 2/2 rather, that lets him pay a life and draw a card when a creature dies.
Oh, sure.
Whatever that card is.
Yeah, he could have resolved both of those.
I like the Chupacabra more. The Drake was going to get out of hand pretty quickly.
Right. So next turn as Kanta flips, if Adam just puts whatever on top of his library into the bin.
Yeah. So Jake needs to attack to ferry here. Here we go.
Yep, there's an Essence Scatter.
Earns an Essence Scatter. Let's load up with his Branch Walker. Get an Explorer trigger. Wild Growth Walker. Are we leaving it there? Yeah, we got to bin that. I can't imagine why it's still in there game 2, but maybe Jake just didn't have much to take out. So here's where the Golgari deck has problems with Jeskai.
Adam is going to flip this.
Just be able to generate a ton of card advantage. He has the Deafening Clarion, I believe, in hand still.
Yep. Yeah, he can have any number of answers here. So Adam's going to fumble his way around here.
Definitely want the Clarion. Yeah. Clear up the board.
Here's the old Sailor.
Sailor means.
I have no clue as to why
Is that
this
even
card's in
what
the
Sailor
deck.
means? I don't think that's a Sailor means. It doesn't look like one unless there was a second art printed.
There was 2 arts for that card because it got reprinted in Rivals.
Yeah, but it was the same art in both of those.
Oh, was it?
It's just dude on a beach. There it is. Yeah, you got the treasure. Looks like it was a Sailor means. Here's a Fine Broker. Yep, there he is. Sailor of Means. Yeah, so it doesn't block an Adanto Vanguard. I mean, if you really want something to fill that slot, the Airy Mystic or whatever from the new set that makes birds is nice.
No, I think it blocks into Danto Vanguard. Danto Vanguard's only attacking at a 3/1.
Right, so there's a lot of Anthem effects. So you got to attack through, or you got to be able to block a Danto Vanguard with either a Benelish Marshal or like a Pride of the Conquerors.
Sure.
And it just doesn't do it. I mean, it can if it's just an Adanto Vanguard by itself.
Yeah.
Murmuring Mystic, yeah, whatever that card is. The one that makes birds. The bird guy.
Yeah, the 1/5. That guy's
Yeah.
got a huge butt.
1/5 bird guy. In the blue-red Drake deck is a solid sideboard card. If we want something similar from Jeskai, then we can go that route.
There's another search for his Kanto.
I don't think you need it, though. So dealing with an Adanto Vanguard is the hard part of that matchup. And I think the better... Oh. We can hit this Sailor Means.
Yeah, it's the only
Not on my watch, says Adam. Okay, maybe on my watch, says Adam. I think the card to do that is Entrancing Melody.
Okay.
Steal their Adanto Vanguard and just like chump block with it.
Sure.
Yeah. Is that a divination?
Yeah, so I had the most absurd conversation with Adam.
That is a divination, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Just wanted to be sure.
I was talking about Chemistry's Insight, which I am super high on.
Yeah. You think it's better than Deep Analysis?
Yeah, that's my analysis of the card.
Right. Not a very deep one. Go on.
And I'm just like, yeah, I would cut these two, the split card he has in his hand, I would cut some number of these, and I want Chemistry's Insights 3 and 4.
Is that an explosion expansion?
Explosion expansion. And I was like, you only need to resolve explosion expansion once in a game. Like, if you need to resolve it more than once, like, that game's a big old grinder that you're probably not winning.
You want to be able to win the grindy ones, though.
Yeah, but you have Teferi to grind them out.
So I totally disagree with only having one explosion expansion. Go on. I don't want to derail your topic here.
No, yeah, this is why we have a good show, because we disagree on most topics.
Right.
Ketchup on mac and cheese. I'm in. Anyway.
You're disgusting.
Anyway.
I'm calling the police.
I'm calling the police.
If somebody were to swat us right now, I would forgive you.
And he goes, I'd rather have a divination so that he had some sort of absurd line on turn 4. And I'm just like, you're ridiculous.
So you need to be able to hit your land drops, and that's a big deal. And if you feel like you need divination to be able to hit land drops 4 and 5, that's a very real reason to play that over the insight.
Yeah.
But I think you just play more lands. And less like Sailor of Means.
Sure. Yeah, I don't think I don't think Sailor Means is like a serious card in there as like this is here to fix my mana.
Yeah.
I think it's just the best blocker he could find, and it also happens to fix his mana.
Man, this Teferi is still out here. Adam has not used it to untap an Escanto once yet.
Oh, he's got another one in his hand.
A Teferi?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd imagine he does. He's drawn a billion cards. I'm just throwing cards around now.
All right, so he's got this Drake he's going to resolve, which I don't think needs to be in this deck either.
The Drake?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got way too many creatures for this deck.
My whole thing is that, like, if you need a card to end the game quickly, it's not a good one.
No.
In a deck like this. Like, just play, like, the big blue or the big white dragon thing or something.
Yeah. I mean, just more Niv Mizzets. I like playing 4 Teferi and, like, 3 Niv Mizzets. That's it.
Sure.
Yeah, Adam's playing fast and loose.
It's just kind of more self-body focused. So by that you mean unwilling to take like damage from attacks? I think everybody's that way right now because of how powerful and quick these white decks are. That they can really, lower your life total below 10 before turn 4, and that's really a precarious place to be.
Right. And yes, Niv Mizzet is absolutely a powerhouse. That card is bonkers. So this is interesting. We use Vraska to kill the Drake. I feel like he wants to Justice Strike. I don't know why he kept the Justice Strike. Regardless, I feel like it might have been a better play to run out the Carnage Tyrant that turn. But you definitely want to get into a position where you can destroy this Spyglass to utilize your Vivian Reeds.
Yeah, it's a weird,
there's a
weird
second
positioning
Spyglass
game.
off the top. Still these cards.
I wonder if he just named Vivian Reed again.
No, you have to name the Vraska.
We had a question about Patient Rebuilding, the M19 rare.
What about it?
It's a good in control. So it costs 5 mana, and it doesn't affect the board that turn. So the reason Teferi is good is because it costs 5 mana and it lets you untap the 2 lands so you can play an additional spell that turn.
Mm-hmm.
This one just costs 5 mana and let you eventually, hopefully you're going to draw a card on your upkeep, like draw an additional card with their lands going into the graveyard. But you've given them turn 5 to do basically whatever they want.
Yeah.
And that's a lot to overcome. There's some powerful things happening in Standard on turn 5.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, here's a fine finality. After a resolved Carnage Tyrant. I think he's finding.
Yeah, Adam used the lesser used side of that card, Expansion Explosion, I believe, to copy it. And so he got back a couple drakes.
Yeah, he was saying how good the expansion side of it was to copy spells and, you know, a lot of people just play things and you're like, oh, yeah.
I 100% would rather just cast the Explosion here with my bajillion mana.
Right. Adam's a bit of a fancy dancer, though, you know?
He is a fancy dancer.
He likes to have a lot of different
He's dancing
things
fancily.
happening. Here's the thing. Adam's going to win one game of this match.
Yeah?
And still draw the match.
Yes, he is. So he's not actively ending the game.
Right.
He's just trying to do fancy dances.
Yeah, so he needs to cast this.
Sure. You wrathed it. Here's a Drake. Okay. Here's another Drake. Okay. You know I have this Chupacabra in hand.
Thanks for giving me a target. Hopefully, he's got 16 instants or sorceries in his graveyard and he can just...
Yeah. Yeah, Niv and Explosion would have absolutely already won. So kill a Drake. Pass the turn. Justice Strike. What do we Justice Strike in? Nothing.
Nothing, okay. No,
You ain't Justice Striking nothing.
no justice, no glory. All right. Do you have another expansion explosion in your hand? Please, dear God. What about now? Nope. All right.
So he's got a billion mana. We need to dig to another explosion. He could swing in.
How big's the Drake? 11. It's 11, so we're going to put Jake to 5 here.
I mean, he could probably cast 5 spells, right? So
We're
Justice
going to
Strike
put Jake
that.
to 4 on the attack.
3 because Jake's going to pay a life and draw a card.
Oh.
Nothing.
All right, so we're gonna go to game 3 here.
We're going to go to game 3.
I don't think Adam's gonna be able to win the match, but he might be able to draw the match. Is his best hope.
Yeah. I don't know that that's really where you want to be, but
I mean,
that's where we're at.
That's not where I want to be on the first match of a tournament.
You never want to be there in any match of the tournament.
If I'm playing like a weird bubble match where like I can draw but my opponent has to win,
No, I just want to win.
I just want to win.
So even if you're trying to get, like, that's the cut to top 8, you want to win for breakers.
Sure.
And you want to win for your placement because everything's, like, you get to choose to draw go, which is a huge deal in this format. In any standard format that it's been the rule for, honestly.
Yeah, the draw go rule. I mean, I think that is one of the better changes they made to the tournament structure in a while.
Yeah.
So for those
every change they've made to the tournament structure has been overwhelmingly positive.
Like every change since ever?
Yeah. Each new change has been overwhelmingly positive based on where the tournament structure was before to where it was as a result.
Wow, if we found like the one thing where Wizards has never missed, like this is what they've done well the whole time, is their tournaments have gotten better.
Right. So they can't, if you mess something like that up, like that's a game ender. Like you're just like, all right, well, so I'm sure they test everything a ridiculous amount where they can't do that with like cards and things like that.
Sure.
Now,
yeah, I guess you could run a lot of simulations.
Right. Now, if we're talking about, like, going to an 18-month rotation and then immediately abandoning it, things like that, as, you know, tournament changes, then I'm going to sing a different tune. But as far as things that are in place that are affecting games of Magic, overwhelmingly positive.
Can we get, do we have a time extension for them, Spotter? We got plus 3 minutes. All right, already accounted for on our screen.
All right, so they have 3 minutes to finish this match. I'm not confident that that's going to happen.
Yeah, neither am I.
All right, Jake's going to be on the play. Super aggressive hand of just like mono branch walkers. And try to fade the Deafening Clarion.
So the thing I think is interesting, and I've been going to game stores.
Adam's going back. This game might not even start.
I've been going to game stores literally half my life.
Half your life, okay.
And probably more than half my life. Probably started before I could drive. And I think it's interesting that, like, so I don't know. I'm definitely seeing, like, bigger attendances than we have now at a local store.
Yeah, absolutely.
On, like, a weekly.
Not on, like, a Wednesday, but for F&M, absolutely.
F&M, sure. Yeah, I mean, F&M's pretty well attended. I mean, it's a good F&M here.
It is a solid F&M. They split it into a lot of different formats, whereas, like, the big F&Ms that I've been to have been, like, mono format.
Yeah. So while the F&Ms are, you know, roughly the same amount, we got a new follower, R. Carey, 1987. Good year.
Great year. Great.
The Grand Prix keep getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's more F&Ms out in the world, and so people are just traveling further for a Grand Prix, and like we're collecting more F&Ms from outside, or if we're seeing, what's Adam doing? Come on.
Don't slow and roll me, Adam.
Or if like we're just seeing more casual people at F&Ms.
Take 3. Jake's going to pass it back. He's got 5 mana up. No creature there is not good for him. Looks like Carnage Tyrant land maybe. Definitely a Carnage Tyrant.
It's the kind of draw Jake wants to see. Here's a Divination.
Drew the Clarion.
Can't cast it.
Definitely cannot cast it yet. He can cast his Justice Strike. It's not gonna matter. And we're gonna Justice Strike the Branch Walker. Okay. Jake playing at a blistering pace.
Adam not.
Yeah, Adam's really slow rolling this. He wants this to be turn 0.
Yeah, if I'm not making decisions here, you're at a.
There's the second Sailor Means. Here's the second Treasure. And now we are on
Turn 0.
turn 1 of turns.
Turn 1. Let's see if Jake can make it happen.
I think attacking with the Llanowar Elves here is important, unless you've got like a second Carnage Tyrant that you need to deploy.
Yeah, so he's gonna. The Brontodon's getting blocked either way.
Yes.
So the Llanowar Elves helps you get 6 in, or 7 in, instead of just the 3 here.
Oh, we have a Vraska.
And 1 negate, please.
That's fine. So we're on turn 2 of turns.
Yep. Turn 2. And so Jake gets the odd-numbered turns here, so he's got 2 more attacks. Whereas Adam is just never going to be able to actually win the game. Chemistry's Insight.
Oh, he drew the Wrath. That's what he needs.
Yeah, he's going to be able to cast that on turn 4.
Can he survive to then?
So Jake has to resolve a... if he had a Chupacabra to resolve here, 3, 6, 7.
Yeah, if he had a Chupacabra, that would have been great.
That would have been the game.
So yeah, he gets to deal 7 there.
And he's got another Carnage Tyrant. And it just doesn't... I mean, I guess he could play it in case there's like a... It doesn't matter, right?
But
Turn 4.
Adam has the wipe. Yeah. All right, well, there you go. Jake tried so hard. Got so far.
But in the end...
Doesn't really matter. We're going to go pick another match. We'll be back here very soon.
Don't go far, because that's got to be the end of the round, easily.